At the point when we say greatest, we mean it. This is the biggest iPhone ever, to the point it can at times be somewhat interesting to hold. That fuss to the side. This is eventually the best section in Apple's 2020 line. I take care of a lot on the iPhone 12 series as of now, so look at our iPhone 12 survey and iPhone 12 Pro audit for more profound plunges to figure out all that you want to be familiar with these gadgets. Underneath, I'll zero in on how the Pro Max looks at and the additional treats you get at that cost. Camera. Are the distinctions perceptible over the more modest 12 Pro? There's a ton of interest encompassing the 12 Pro Max's camera, and, beside the size, the viewpoint separates the iPhone 12 Pro Max most from the 12 Pro. While the two cameras have three 12-megapixel sensors on the back, the vitally wide sensor on the Pro Max is a lot bigger and is consequently ready to allow in more light. The fax camera is likewise somewhat more zoomed, with a 65mm central reach. In the event that you need the absolute best iPhone for taking photographs, the 12 Pro Max is the handset to pick. I wouldn't agree that it's a striking contrast over the generally entirely skilled 12 Pro. All things considered, it conveys unobtrusive improvements in various regions. Utilizing the night mode, for example, is far speedier, and the improved zoom lets you to draw a tad nearer to the subject. Large numbers of the iPhone 12 Pro Max's camera abilities or civility of the A14 Bionic chipset, and the solid spotlight on computational photography. There's profound combination for taking out more detail in specific examples, and shrewd HDR3 for evening out openness, and guaranteeing your photos look great regardless of the climate. You're not even expected to draw in these elements. They basically take care of their responsibilities behind the scenes, killing a large part of the mystery of snapping pictures. Shrewd HDR assists with bringing out colors, adding a seriously satisfying look to photographs, while proceeding to keep things looking accurate. Night mode is another computational component, which connects naturally on the off chance that it recognizes the shot requirements. This takes different pictures at different openings, and afterward join them together, adding far more noteworthy brilliance than you'd expect, without forfeiting point of interest. The bigger sensor here allows in more light, without you keeping the phone still however long you would with the iPhone 12 Pro. This is a welcome overhaul, and means you'll get a superior profit from your evening photography. Night mode likewise works with the expansive camera currently, giving you a touch greater flexibility. The all-inclusive camera is the most unfascinating of the three, notwithstanding mixing it up, equivalent to the one elements on the 12 Pro, taking fundamentally the same as snaps to the iPhone 11 Pro series. Ideally, we'll see enormous improvements around here the following year. A similar applies to the selfie camera. I've been shooting with the 12 Pro Max for half a month at this point, setting it in opposition to the next iPhone 12 handset as well as more seasoned renditions of the iPhone as well. The improvements Apple has made in a couple of years, particularly from the X and XS, is clear with essentially every shot. Varieties and dynamic reach are discernibly better in pictures caught with the new model. In any case, in the event that you were expecting the sensor in the 12 Pro Max would push it serenely in front of the 12 and 12 Pro, then you may be somewhat disheartened. In a few situations, I battled to see a distinction, with the advantages of the computational backend far offsetting the additional smarts of the sensor. You'll see barely more regular profundity in pictures, very somewhat more splendor in hazier scenes, and marginally punchier colors in specific circumstances. However, nonetheless, you should be searching for these distinctions. In any case, as I would see it, this is the best camera phone for generally speaking photograph quality, and the bar is set high for rival handsets to match in 2021. Complexions are normal. Detail is excellent without feeling fake, and generally it simply feels super dependable. Of the many shots I caught over the audit period, there were not really any that were out of concentration or unusable. It's the best handset for video, as well, with HDR shooting and a Dolby Vision designed for separating truly brilliant video. This can be switched off assuming you need better similarity or essentially believe caught film should occupy less room. However, in the event that you watch video on your phone, it's valuable on. Apple's camera application stays one of the most essential around, and we would invite further control. For example, you can't empower the night mode physically. Another Pro design is coming soon, and this ought to allow you to alter a DNG document, with every one of the computational advantages unblemished. Where the iPhone 12 Pro Max falls behind marginally against a portion of the Android contest is in its zoom advertising. On the 12 Pro Max you get a 2.5x focal point for drawing nearer to a subject. However, this could not hope to compare to handsets. For example, the Huawei Mate 40 Pro and Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. These gadgets use periscope-style focal points to make optical zooming up to 10x, and the outcomes are typically exceptionally noteworthy. Basically, the central length is longer than the iPhone 12 Pro. Be that as it may, consequently it has smaller openings so less light gets into the sensor. New sensor shift adjustment implies the entire sensor moves, instead of simply the focal point. And, while this is just present on the primary camera, its impact can frequently be hard to miss. There's a LiDAR sensor which helps self-adjust exactness in low-light circumstances. Design and screen. Oh rapture, this handset is the meaning of large. Apple has changed the iPhone design this time around, changing from the marginally drained adjusted look since the iPhone 6 to something more similar to the famous iPhone 4 and iPhone 5. The 12 Pro Max is square-shaped, rakish, and includes straight lines all over. I've canvassed design and more profundity in our iPhone 12 Pro survey. Here, everything is a lot of something very similar, simply much greater and heavier. The level sides are hardened steel and have a sparkly, polished finish that draws in a ton of fingerprints. The degree of sheen will change contingent upon the variety you pull for, with the sides of my graphite audit model looking undeniably more unpretentious than the showy gold adaptation. Performance. Very good quality chip. 5G and colossal storage choices. The 12 Pro Max offers improvements over the other iPhone 12 models regarding the camera and battery duration, yet it accompanies no more power than the iPhone 12. Beside an extra 2 GB of RAM, the A14 Bionic chipset is similar across the whole reach. Keeping equality across the series is perfect. And, from a specialized point of view, this is quite possibly of the most great chip I've at any point seen. Constructed utilizing a 5nm process, it appears particularly to be the premise of the M1 chips inside the new MacBooks. It's adequately fast to run any application or game from the application store, and it plays through Apple Arcade titles effortlessly. The additional force of this chip probably won't be promptly self-evident, particularly assuming you're coming from an as of now extremely fast iPhone from the beyond a few years. In any case, it offers benefits as we've referenced, in different regions like the camera and battery duration. It's a 5G phone, which is convenient in the event that you're in an upheld region yet isn't exactly motivation to overhaul. There's Wi-Fi 6, which is perfect in the event that you have an upheld switch. Battery duration. It's the best iPhone 12 around here by some distance. In the event that battery duration is high on your list of things to get while updating, the 12 Pro Max is for you. This is the longest enduring iPhone 12 model by some distance, nearly arriving at the levels set by the 11 Pro Max. Taking into account this is a more slender gadget, with a greater screen and backing for 5G, that is noteworthy. Over the course of my experience with the phone, I attempted to exhaust its cell in a day, even with concentrated use. I would average 8 to 9 hours of screen on time for its check to hit 0%. As a rule, it endured through 2 entire days in the event that I was telecommuting. That is great, in spite of the fact that I truly do concede this was all over Wi-Fi. On the off chance that you're pounded it with 5G, expect undeniably less. Sadly, with regards to charging, you'll see the container is light on embellishments. While a USB-C to Lightning link is incorporated, you won't find a fitting or sets of earpods regardless of how profound you dive. Obviously, you could utilize a charger from a more seasoned iPhone. However, except if it's one from the 11 Pro line, you'll be standing by as many as 3 hours for a full charge. Your smartest option is Apple's £19 divided by $19 USB-C 20W fitting or something almost identical, which charges to half in around 30 minutes. Another charging arrangement is through the MagSafe charger, a remote puck that cuts attractively to the phone's back. It involves Qi for remote charging, yet it's faster than some other remote iPhone charger. It's a perfect extra, regardless of whether the actual charger costs £39 divided by $39, and afterward you'll require another 20-watt Apple fitting to get those rates. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.